I walked past the storefront a few times, my heart racing beneath my calm exterior. Finally, I stepped through the glass doors, feeling a sense of relief. No one around here knew me. There were no other customers, so I was quickly noticed by the woman behind the counter. Her name tag read Sophie. She was a redhead in her 30s, dressed elegantly as the manager of a bridal shop. She probably assumed I was the fiancé of one of her customers, looking for a last-minute gown. Nervously, I said, "I'm looking for bridal gowns in the 12 to 14 range, and I was wondering if you have a sale rack." Sophie seemed a little puzzled as she led me to a section with dresses covered in plastic. "Here are our current sale items. Are you looking for something specific?" I hesitated, glancing away. "Oh, it's not for someone else, it's for me." At this point, I expected her to tell me the shop didn't serve male customers. But instead, she smiled and said, "Oh, how interesting. Is this for a masquerade?" "Well, sort of," I replied, quickly thinking of a story. "I lost a bet with my wife, and my end of the deal is to dress as a bride for the weekend." She laughed. "And your wife made you come here alone? That must have taken some courage." My story now felt locked in. It was easier than saying I was a crossdresser, and it gave me an excuse to enjoy the experience. Yes, my wife gave me specific instructions: pick the most feminine gown, matching shoes, hose, and underwear. She wants me to be a bride on Saturday and stay in character the whole weekend. I'm guessing she'll make me go out in public on Sunday. Sophie seemed to enjoy the story. "Well, this will be fun. Wednesdays are always slow, so it sounds like you'll have the whole store to yourself. We even have a lingerie section, so we should have everything she wants." With that, we turned our attention to the rack of bridal gowns. There were 4 choices in my size. Sophie measured me and confirmed I was a size 12, which I already knew. 2 of the dresses were modern off-the-shoulder styles that didn't appeal to me, but the other 2 were more traditional. My eyes immediately landed on one with a lace bodice, lace sleeves, and a full tulle skirt. Sophie asked if I wanted to try it on. Of course, I agreed. As Sophie hung the dress in the fitting room, she said, "You know, if your wife has you buying the undergarments, you might as well try those on, too. Most of our brides try everything on at once." I stammered a response as Sophie led me to the lingerie section. I was overwhelmed but followed her guidance. "First, we need a panty worthy of a beautiful bride," she said, holding up a pair of white silk panties. I could tell she was enjoying this. "If you're going to be a lady, you might as well be a well-outfitted one. Don't worry, most of our clients are nervous." Sophie's comforting personality made it easier to relax. She handed me the panties, then picked out a strapless bra she thought would fit and led me to the hosiery rack. She selected a lace-patterned pair with bows and roses. "These are our prettiest hose." I couldn't help but agree. At this point, I wasn't even concerned about the cost. "There you go," she said. "You have most of your foundation garments. Why don't you go try them on, but leave the dress for now?" I nodded, curious about why she wanted me to hold off on the gown. I stepped into the dressing room, taking a seat on the velvet stool. As I stripped off my male clothes, I struggled to fasten the strapless bra, taking longer than I expected to pull the hooks together. Next, I slid into the cool silk panties, feeling their smooth touch against my skin, realizing that I was about to wear something that epitomized femininity. From outside the curtain, Sophie's voice came through. "Do you know how to properly put on hose? You don't want to rip them, it's a shame when that happens." I hesitated and replied, No, I don't." "What do you mean?" "Let me help you," she said, stepping in without waiting for a response. "Don't be embarrassed. I see women in their underwear all the time." Before I could protest, she swung the curtain aside, kneeling in front of me to pull one leg of the pantyhose onto my foot. "See how you unroll it as you pull it up the leg," she explained. I muttered something that sounded like understanding, but Sophie noticed the hair on my legs peeking through the lace. "You'll need to shave your legs if you want the look to be right," she said. Did your wife schedule a trip to the salon? Well, no, I said. She just told me to buy everything and not come home until I had everything ready. Sophie smiled. If you're serious about this, I suggest a trip to the salon. I'll call my friend Ava and schedule you an appointment. Does 1 hour work? Her calm, decisive manner left me with little choice but to agree. Ava runs the salon 2 doors down. Stay right here, and I'll give her a call. I stood in the dressing room, feeling the nervous energy rising, as Sophie spoke to Ava on the phone. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but Sophie's smile told me it was all set. That'll work. She'll stay open a little late for us, Sophie said. I still wasn't sure what Sophie meant by us, but I was beginning to relax, enjoying the feel of my feminine undergarments. Sophie returned shortly. You need a slip before we put on the gown. Let's find one. She returned with a lace bridal slip and helped me into it. I was amazed by how she was treating me, just like any bride who walked through her door. Next came the gown. Sophie helped me slip it on over my undergarments. The tulle skirt flowed around my legs like something from a ballet, and the feeling was overwhelming. She had me stand in front of a 3-way mirror, making adjustments to the gown. Beautiful, she said, smiling as she checked my reflection. After the final adjustments, Sophie reminded me about my salon appointment. Ava will be able to help more if she can see you as a woman. It might be hard to do with your male clothes on. I suppose, I said, though I still wasn't sure about wearing the gown outside. It would attract too much attention. Sophie agreed, then suggested, I keep a change of clothing in the back, and you're about my size. Let's see what we can dig up. She returned with a black skirt, black hose, and a white blouse. Put these on, and I'll give you some quick makeup so you won't attract too much attention. I changed quickly into her clothes while she applied a light touch of makeup. We left the store, making our way to the salon, which was just 3 doors down. The shop was tastefully decorated with lace curtains over the windows, and the sign read Pamper Miss Salon. As we entered, the last customer was leaving, and Sophie introduced me to Ava, a woman in her 30s with a blonde, permed bob and a warm smile. What's your name? She asked. Carl, I answered, not thinking quickly and not wanting to use my real name. Ava smiled, shaking her head. No, honey. That just won't do for a pretty young woman. How about Colleen? I agreed, not sure what to expect next. To my surprise, Sophie stayed with me, likely because I was still wearing her clothes, and I still needed to pay for the bridal gown. Ava led me to a chair, fastening a gown around my neck before reclining me back into the shampoo bowl. You've got nice, thick hair, she said. It's nice to meet a guy who doesn't have a buzz cut. I think we can do something with your hair, Ava said, and that was when I realized I might be in over my head. Despite my uncertainty, the flood of feminine feelings overwhelmed me, and I decided to go along with it. Ava gently toweled off my hair and began combing through it. We want a romantic look for the bride, she explained, which means curls. I had shoulder-length blonde hair, so I figured a little curl wouldn't make me look too different. I let her work, feeling a strange sense of calm as she rolled my hair in curlers. The tugging and pulling felt soothing as I relaxed into the chair. Once the curlers were in place, Ava applied what I assumed was setting lotion. It felt cool against my scalp. She then led me to the dryer, informing me I'd need to sit for about 30 minutes. I adjusted my skirt and let the feel of the pantyhose and silk panties provide some comfort. While I sat under the dryer, Ava brought over bridal magazines and showed me various hairstyles. Together, we chose an updo that involved a cascade of curls flowing from the crown of my head and framing my face. This one will need lots of pins, but it's going to look very elegant, she assured me. After my time in the dryer was up, Ava rinsed my hair, then combed it out and began pinning it into place. When she finished, my hair looked exactly like the bride's in the magazine. I couldn't believe how my once dull hair had transformed into something almost artistic. Through it all, Sophie from the bridal shop stayed by my side, offering encouragement and chatting with Ava about the process. When Sophie saw the finished hairstyle, she was impressed. "With some artistic makeup, you're going to be gorgeous," she said. "Your wife is going to be thrilled. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.